used some of his mousse. Hi there again, Facebook. We've got you back. You caught me talking about my hair. So yeah, Michael Van Clark, love his range. So I've just used some mousse and I just toned it with the GHD curlers. Only actually did the front. Looks terrible at the back, but I thought it doesn't matter. Nobody can see the back. So hopefully Facebook and YouTube, you'll stay stable at the moment. Just for a quick recap, today is all about energy. We're going to be joined by the head of clinical nutrition from BioCare, which is one of the great British supplement brands. I have been personally buying and using their products for myself and my family for decades, so I'm very excited about this. And we're going to be talking about energy and eating and all of that. So if you have questions, please pop them down in the comments section. We'll try and pick up as many as we can. Rachel is monitoring Facebook. So Rachel, who sorted you guys out in a flash, because she's in the studios with me today, which is great. So she will be able to link to things on Facebook. So if you want to watch on catch up later on Facebook, then please do, because the direct links will be there. Otherwise, then you can head to LizEarleWellbeing.com. So if you go to Liz Loves, you'll see all the Liz Loves affiliate discount codes with every brand that I love that we talk about here. And of course, we have the link in the bio on Instagram. You don't have any energy, Liz. Okay, yes, we will definitely be covering that. Lady Penn, she's off for a spa treat. Mandy is having afternoon tea, courtesy of the Devon Hamper Company. And Nikki's going to see the Trooping of the Colour. Wow, excellent. You're going to need lots of energy for all of that. So let us get BioCare joining us, and we can get straight into this, because I, for one, I'm in need of a little bit of energy after all my travels. So as I said, Marta is the... And where are you?
It's all good, thank you. I'm in Stratford-upon-Avon. Not very sunny. I'd like to say it's nice and sunny out there, but unfortunately quite cloudy.
Do you know, I left, I actually came up from Dorset this morning, drove past Stonehenge, waved to the stones, beautiful sunny day, bright blue sky, it was just great. And it just got progressively greyer as I came into London. So I'm in London now, and yeah, it is a little bit grey. But we are going to cheer everybody up, absolutely. Before we get started, we should say that there is a 15% discount off everything on BioCare, which is brilliant, because they have the most amazing supplements. I buy them and use my discount all the time. It's biocare.co.uk. This is the one, Marta, that I have been raving about recently. I know it's off topic today, but I just wanted to mention it. The quercetin.
Oh, wow, yes.
Love it. I started using it last year for my hay fever. It's still brilliant. And I know that you use it with nettle leaf and vitamin C in here.
Yes, and bromelain as well. Yes,
And bromelain.
I have used it a lot of my family, actually. It's been a great...
It's so good. In fact, I'm actually going to take a couple more while I'm sat here, because I find, I find that being in London, actually all the plane trees, that's what's setting me off at the moment. So I tend to get, relatively early onset hay fever with the tree pollen. I tend, usually by kind of mid-June, it's gone. And I know a lot of other people are affected by grasses and hay, hence hay fever, which is later in the summer, but for me it's earlier. But honestly, this stuff is brilliant. If you run out, you can blame me, because I buy loads of this stuff from you guys.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because it is so hard to manage, and there are so many different trees and grasses, etc., that affect different people. And also, I think it's interesting you said when you're in London, then it affects you in a certain way, because obviously in the city there's much more pollution, and that is going to affect our immune system, our lungs. So we are going to react to pollen differently potentially than maybe people in the countryside.
Isn't that interesting? You'd think it was the other way around. You think, well, because I live in the countryside and I'm surrounded by trees, but actually, my hay fever symptoms are worse when I'm in the city. I hadn't factored in that the pollution was lowering my immune system.
Yeah, I can imagine it can affect different people differently.
Sure.
But yeah, that is the factor for sure. I like your mug as well.
Oh, thank you. That's my travel mug. I actually made myself a protein shake this morning, and I was drinking it on my journey, on my travels, to give me plenty of energy. Knowing that I would need it. Now today you have sent in, or your team have sent in, 2 things from your range which I know nothing about, so I'm really interested in talking about these. One is the glucose complex, which has got some things in it which I know a little bit about. One is chromium for sugar cravings, so that's going to be fascinating, and B vitamins for energy and all of that. And then this one, which is, I don't know anything about, which is adrenal complex. Presumably that's sort of for your adrenal glands, is it?
Yeah, and a little bit more. So, so great that you've picked those up. I'm excited to tell you more about them. So part of our energy range, which we launched last year, and as you know, as I'm sure lots of people are commenting, energy is such a big issue. It's a key thing that people call us about, and key thing I'm sure people message you about. And it's such a diverse problem. I mean, if we wanted to get into energy metabolism, it would be here for hours.
Yeah, could be so many things.
Absolutely. So we really wanted to create a range for everybody, for any of those energy problems. So those are 2 out of 4 or 5 products that cover those key issues that people are facing these days. So like I say, glucose complex for blood sugar balance, to manage sugar, carbohydrate cravings, weight as well, and those sort of dips in energy that a lot of people experience.
I think, am I right in saying that if if you're overdoing it on the sugars, or sometimes you feel that you need to reach for that, chocolate bar or, bag of biscuits or whatever it is, because you're low in energy, but that's only going to give you that very short little energy spike with the glucose release, and then you slump back down again. Whereas something like chromium can kind of help regulate that. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you nail on the head, really. If you eat some chocolate or some carbohydrate, even bread and pasta, it is really quickly broken down in your body, and all that sugar goes straight into the bloodstream. So it's going to give you that pick me up really quickly. It's going to give you better focus and concentration, and just that spike of energy, and it feels good for a short period of time, like you said.
Yeah, for about 20 minutes maybe.
yeah. So maybe sometimes it's necessary, right? If you need to work on something quickly, or if you're just feeling so sleepy and you have to go to work or whatever. But obviously that's not sustainable. What happens if we do that over a longer period of time, every day, several times a day, is that that message, that sugar that's in the bloodstream, doesn't get into the cells very efficiently. So we've got a hormone called insulin that helps the body to get the sugar into the cells, and the cells then produce energy.
Right.
But if we expose the cells to all that sugar, that threshold increases. So then we need more sugar for the same for the insulin to work on those cells. So
really, I didn't know that. So the more sugar you eat, the more sugar your cells need.
Yeah, in a way, or it doesn't work in that way. It doesn't give you that energy that it used to give you. And of course, it has other health impacts as well.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm always saying cut out your sugar. Go as low sugar as you possibly can. Sugar for me is like a dead nutrient. It doesn't do any good. In fact, I believe it does a lot of harm.
Absolutely, but we are so reliant on sugar, unfortunately, and it's also then quite difficult to change your diet, because if you suddenly change from a high carbohydrate, high sugar diet to a more protein, fat based diet, then it's going to take a lot of people some time to adjust. And nutrients such as chromium or B vitamins, magnesium, can really support those hormones, and like you said, with chromium, helps to stabilize that blood sugar, so it doesn't go up and down so much, so that you have fewer cravings, and your energy is a bit more stable throughout the day.
Interesting. I know people who swear by chromium for sugar cravings. They say it just kind of knocks the edge off that craving for sugars all the time, so you kind of then can wean yourself off it if you're looking to eat less sugar. this could be a really helpful way to actually assist with that. It kind of gives you a helping hand along the way.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. I think it's really useful because it's not easy to stop the sugar, especially when you're feeling tired and you're busy and you have lots to do, and you're used to that pattern. So it's quite easy to beat yourself up and try, I'm not going to eat any sugar one day, and the next day you feel, you reach for that bar of chocolate because you can't sustain energy and you feel bad about it. So what nutrition and supplements cleverly can sometimes do is that they can just help you get on that healthy kind of diet a little bit more easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that I like about this, looking at this formula, is that you've got some really good looking B vitamins. B vitamins for my family and me are a bit essential for helping with stress, helping the central nervous system. We're all prone to a little bit of anxiety, and definitely B vitamins help. I won't get into the whole methylation pathway because that's so complicated, but it definitely helps along with that too, doesn't it?
Sure. Well, yeah, absolutely. So this product is much more than chromium, like you said. Got the key B vitamins, B1, B2, B3, B6, B5 as well, and other minerals like manganese, magnesium as well, such a vital nutrient as well, and some additional things like myo-inositol and alpha-lipoic acid. So just like I said earlier about energy, and it's such a complex system, that's why it does need a variety of nutrients. So it's not just about chromium. Your body utilizes different nutrients in different ways to manage that whole system. So that's why at BioCare we try to put everything together to match exactly what the body needs to help with, in this case, blood glucose balance.
Yes. Now, talk to me about alpha-lipoic acid, because I've been reading some interesting research linking this with help for long COVID, for example. What does alpha-lipoic acid do?
It's a very potent antioxidant. So your body naturally produces alpha-lipoic acid. The good thing about alpha-lipoic acid is that it's very diverse in its activity. It can also help other antioxidants in the body.
Right.
And on one hand, when we produce energy in the body, we produce a lot of free radicals, and as you know, they can be damaging to your cells, to your skin, but it can also create inflammation in the body, which is maybe how it links to the research that you've read. So antioxidants are important for energy metabolism as well. But also, when we eat a lot of sugar, that can be quite inflammatory and cause that free radical damage.
Right, so that's helping to kind of calm that inflammation. We know that sugar is very inflammatory. It's helping, spiking inflammatory processes, which is not helpful. So is the idea that it's in there to help dampen that down, that inflammatory reaction?
Yeah, as an antioxidant, yeah.
A question here, Leslie's saying about methylated B vitamins. She's saying that she takes a methylated B vitamin. Can she take this as well? I mean, looking at the amounts in here, they don't look very high. They look as if they're just there to kind of help with the sugars. You're not taking this as a B vitamin necessarily, are you?
No, it's not like a B complex as you alluded to. So, and also, it doesn't have the methylated nutrient in it. So it doesn't have the methylfolate, the folic acid alternative, or the B12. So it's only got the B vitamins I mentioned earlier, which are really specific to energy and blood sugar a little bit more.
Right.
Hence, yes, you can combine it with a multi-nutrient that has those B vitamins in, or a B complex. And yeah, you're right. They are at the levels that are suitable to combine with other products.
That's good to know, because I take methylated B vitamins as well. In fact, I've got one of yours here, which I brought from my cupboard, which is the B6, the Nutrisorb B6.
Okay, yeah.
And my youngster has this, because he's kind of a bit of a grasshopper brain. And he was a functional medicine doctor, suggested that he takes this along with various other things. So he has this in his morning shake, because it's a dropper. so it's easy for anybody not liking tablets. I think it's a really good one. We've got the methyl B6 and the B12 as well. So, you know, if anybody's taking a B supplement specifically for, you know, the activity of the B complex, then you're fine to continue that, are you, alongside this?
Yeah, absolutely. And just maybe I'll mention the dosage. So glucocomplex, you can take up to 3 capsules a day. So if you're really struggling with those ups and downs in energy, cravings and so on, and perhaps if you're using it on its own, maybe you're not using any other supplements or nothing with B vitamins or similar nutrients, then you can use one with each main meal. So it's really designed to sustain that energy throughout the day. And also help you with the food that you're eating, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can take it at 3 capsules a day, but if you're using that as a little bit of an extra, as a kind of boost, or you're using it multi or B-complex, you can use fewer capsules, 1 to 2. It really depends on your symptoms.
Yeah, sure. And what I love, actually, about BioCare is that you've got the most fantastic team of online nutritionists and advisors. And I know that your customer care is so good. I've heard so many great bits of feedback on this for people who message you or email or call. You're just so brilliant at helping to guide people, because obviously everybody's got specific health issues, and you know we can't and would never give medical advice here, but or even talk about specific issues. But there are people online that you can talk to. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for saying so. Yeah, we have a dedicated team, our clinical nutrition team, and they're online 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, most days, except bank holidays, obviously, if you're planning to call tomorrow, or over the phone as well. You can pick up the phone and call us for that more personalised advice, whether you want to ask about glucocomplex or anything else, or any nutrition-related question, really.
We've spoken about gut care before, because you know, all your gut support is great. I've taken that out to friends in Kenya who've had gut issues. And, you know, it's really, I mean, your range is so broad. When was the company started? Because I first started using you decades ago.
Yeah, back in the 80s, mid-80s.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it. And I remember when it started, I think I was probably working as a young junior journalist on women's magazines, sort of in the early 80s. And up popped this company selling really unusual, you know, premium, relatively expensive things compared to what else was on the market, because these were the things that the professionals recommended. You know, I would go and talk to a naturopath or interviewed functional medicine doctors in the early days, and they would all say, you know, actually, if you're going to get a supplement, get it from BioCare, because these guys are the ones that are actually doing it well, doing it properly, and they're going to give you something that we trust and that will work, which at the end of the day, if you're going to spend money on something, you may as well spend it on something that's going to deliver, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it was a company founded by people with a passion to help others through a really holistic approach, and that stays with us till today, really. So that's what I love about the company as well. And the range has grown significantly. Back in those days, we probably had a handful of products, but very unique products, and I hope that still like that.
Yeah, really interesting ones, you know, and the right ones too, because, you know, as I'm learning all the time, you know, doing my lives and talking to experts like you know, learning the difference between methyl folic acid, methylated, and something that isn't, and, you know, what's the right one to get and why, and how all these things, you know, work together. So in a nutshell then, I think what we're saying about the glucocomplex is, if you're somebody who has sugar cravings, you're trying to wean yourself off sugar, try and regulate those energy levels throughout the day, this, for all the reasons that we've talked about, the chromium, the little bits of B vitamins, the alpha lipoic acid, the magnesium, the manganese, you know, that's all just going to help regulate that so that we can sustain energy better throughout the day. Have I got that right?
That's a great summary. And also, if you may be struggling with weight a little bit or trying to exercise a bit more, that can help.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, good. So let's now move on to the adrenal complex. And oh my goodness, this has got so many brilliant things in it. not only have we got all the vitamins that we can talk about, but it's got things like rhodiola root, reishi mushroom, and ginseng, all of which are brilliant for energy. So what would you like to talk about first here?
Wow. Well, yeah, there is a lot. This is my favourite, actually. This is the one I take.
Is it?
But, yeah.
Always good to know what the experts are taking.
Yeah, it has worked amazingly for me, actually, which I didn't expect, but just because I've already taken lots of different things, as you can imagine. But yeah, it's been great. So, well, it's a combination of nutrients again. You mentioned it that will support your adrenal glands and your steroid hormone production. So with this product, we're talking a little bit more about stress and the impact of stress on our energy levels.
Big one.
So it's a really good one for people who are sort of stressed but wired and tired, and that affects
that
their
would
energy.
be me. I love that. Well, I don't love it, but it's a great expression. Wired and tired. Who else is feeling wired and tired?
Yeah, you're kind of tired all day, but you're a little bit on the edge.
Yeah.
You can't sleep very well. You wake up pretty exhausted, so you can't get yourself out of bed. So those nutrients are there to support your hormones. And then you mentioned those great herbs and botanicals, the ginseng, licorice, rhodiola, and the reishi mushroom. So a really good synergistic combination of those herbs and ingredients that we call adaptogens.
Right. Yeah, we know a bit about those. All those who've been paying attention in class will know about their adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha and all of that. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah. So they really help your body to adapt to stress and just to modulate those hormones. So that you've got more resilience over time.
Great.
Because that's another thing with stress. It's obviously really important to do stress management and relaxation. I'm sure that's something you talk on your channel.
I did my meditation this morning. It was only 10 minutes.
Yes.
I was wearing Lily's Cell Return mask, and it has a fast setting on it that's 9 minutes. So because I kind of like multitasking, I put that on now in the mornings as well. I go to sleep with it, but then I use the fast setting in the morning, and I use that as my kind of breathing time. So yeah, really important with stress, isn't it, to manage your meditation and your mindfulness and your breathing.
Yeah, and that's great because it's really quick. It's 10 minutes in the morning.
10 minutes of your life, exactly. And whenever I feel like skipping it, that's exactly what I say. Marta, I just say, right, 10 minutes. Come on, give yourself 10 minutes. And it sets you up, sets your head up for the day. I mean, I still get stressed about stuff, but less so, I think.
Well, that's it. Another thing about those adaptogens is really like the idea of resilience. Those stresses are going to be in our lives all the time, and there is more of them now, or some people are more predisposed because of genetics, their environment, their personality. So again, nutrition and some of those lifestyle things that we can do can just increase that threshold to stress, right? So we can handle it a bit more or handle it better. Because it will affect us to some extent, but we can bounce back from it.
I mean, exactly. It's never going to take it away.
Yeah.
But it makes us better able to cope with it, I think, and keeps you feeling a bit happier. You can just see the lighter side of life a little bit more easily, which I think is really important.
Yeah. It helps you kind of stopping getting into that vicious cycle of stress, where when you stress, you don't think as clearly, calmly, obviously. So everything seems much more stressful than it should be, really, if you know what I mean. Little things can set you off.
Absolutely. And I don't know if anybody else can relate to this who's watching, but catastrophizing stuff, really taking it on, particularly if you're, watching too many news channels, or you've got your news app, kind of pinging away like this when you're doom scrolling all the dreadful stuff, I mean, it's really easy to absorb that stress, that environmental stress of what's around us. I mean, please, delete your news apps. That was one of the first things I did in the pandemic to save my sanity, because it's, so much of this bad news is there as clickbait, and it's just this toxic scroll of never-ending doom, and actually there's so much to celebrate. Yeah, you don't realise the impact, actually, that has on you, and what it has on our health, and what it has on our immune system to keep doing that.
absolutely.
So the adaptogens here, I am fascinated by the kind of microdosing and the nootropics and using the mushrooms. You've chosen one here, the reishi mushroom. I'm seeing this crop up everywhere, reishi mushroom. Why have you put reishi mushroom in this one?
Well, when we formulate products, we do look at research, what's available, and obviously we have to make certain choices. We do also talk to other practitioners what they've used in clinic. So we do try to combine that research, because it's not all about the results on paper or in the lab. It's also what works in practice in the real world, in real people. So yeah, reishi just crops up everywhere to do with all sorts of things. So it's so balanced, so nutritive. It has so many great properties, not just being an adaptogen, but having lots of nutrients and that support your immune system as well.
Absolutely. I've actually got some for Lily, my eldest, who's got quite a very unpleasant autoimmune issue, and I'm getting her to take more reishi. I'm looking at really interesting studies on the immune system and reishi. I think we're finding out more and more, aren't we, about these extraordinary mushrooms. Lion's mane, reishi, amazing. Cordyceps. I mean, I was at a wellness conference actually last weekend, and fascinating talks and information going on. You know, I mean, I think if I was going to come back in another life, I'd want to come back as an adaptogenic mushroom farmer. I mean, because it's so fascinating, and there's so much good stuff that's out there. In fact, there's, just as an aside, if anybody's got the magazine, the current magazine, there's the most brilliant piece that's been written by Eleanor Mills, who was the editor of the Sunday Times magazine for many, many years. Super brain. She's got this great website called Noon now, but this is her in Jamaica. And she's written all about how she went and she took magic mushrooms, the psilocybin, in a controlled environment, a controlled clinical environment. She wasn't just heading off to, Jamaica and deciding to, buy some mushrooms from some guy on the street. I mean, it was a proper controlled therapeutic setting, and it's completely legal over there. And it's just amazing the impact on brain chemistry and how much good it can do. I mean, well worth a read if you haven't read that article. It's really good.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's a really growing area. I've seen a lot of podcasts and articles about that, so it's something to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. So you've used reishi in here, and rhodiola. Rhodiola is another adaptogenic herb that you may well have come across actually from Earle Wellbeing, because it's used by several of the brands that I really like Indie Supplements, who make lots of shakes and powders that you can, in fact, my shake this morning, powdered shake, was one of theirs that I enjoyed. And then I think also might even be in the Life Armour drops, if I remember rightly. So can you remind us what rhodiola is and what it's doing?
Well, rhodiola is an amazing herb, and an adaptogen and supporting immunity, kind of mental clarity and performance as well. We thought about it quite a lot, about which adaptogens, which herbs to use. There are some feedback from practitioners, and maybe for some people, ashwagandha might not be the best option, perhaps because of thyroid health and some other things like that. But we chose rhodiola for that calming effect, and we found that works really well in practice.
Yeah, I agree with you. Rhodiola is really calming. I think it might be in one of the sleep drops that I've got. As a great brain on the subject is ginseng. And we all kind of know about it, ginseng. I remember it kind of in the 70s, it was promoted for enhanced sex.
It's been used for centuries, really. One thing about this product is that it's like not are still kept and then you update for the people who are using the support your brain function, maybe energy, concentration and focus more. Mental fatigue are really common. So ginseng is really good for that.
I'm looking here, and you've used Siberian ginseng. I know there are different forms.
Yeah.
I remember Siberian ginseng because my ex, who used to get really stressed about all sorts of stuff, and still does get quite stressed about things, he would always take Siberian ginseng, and he was recommended that one for stress particularly. So what are the different types of ginseng, and why have you used the Siberian one?
Well, the key alternative that you often see is the Korean ginseng as well.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes used. We find that the Korean ginseng is a little bit more potent and perhaps a bit more stimulating.
Okay.
So maybe you would use it more for when your energy was really on the floor. Maybe, I think stress will always be a factor, but if you push the adrenal function and your stress response too much, that can make you feel a little bit anxious, and that can be too much. Right. So with this product, we wanted it to be more balancing, more supportive, nutritive, and a stress relieving.
That makes sense.
It's going to give you an energy boost, but it's not going to push you too much.
Right. So it's supporting you, so you feel better able to carry on, which in turn, I guess, is giving you that bit of extra energy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than kind of like a quick caffeine fix that will kind of spike you up to do something.
Exactly.
But actually, I guess, I mean, the name's on the tin, isn't it? Adrenocomplex. It's supporting your adrenal glands. Our adrenal glands, they sit...
Lots of hormones to do with our reproductive health.
Yeah. And adrenaline, I guess, comes from the adrenals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
when we have too much. Adrenaline and cortisol. Oh, my goodness. We're all running on that at the moment, aren't we?
A bit of a slower response one.
So for those who are spiking their cortisol, you know, for whatever reason, to regulate cortisol.
Yes, absolutely. So some of the nutrients like the vitamin C, magnesium, vitamin B5 are important to support adrenal function and energy production in that system.
Yeah. No,
so it's going to nourish the adrenal glands in that respect. Because again, like with blood sugar, other hormones, when we just push things too much, the body can struggle to maintain that balance.
Yeah.
And then the herbs are going to just give you that resilience, like I said earlier.
And then lastly, licorice root.
No, not as a flavour because it's a capsule, although we have a powder alternative to this and it's got licorice and you can taste the flavour.
That would be good to put into shakes and things for people who don't like swallowing capsules or who can't.
The powder you can use a little bit less or half the dose.
So I've got my ex having protein shakes and stuff in the morning to try and help him cope a bit better with stuff. Maybe I should get some of that and encourage him to just put it in there, because if he's already, getting good results with things like Siberian ginseng.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. That's got some of the ingredients that are here plus some extra ones. It's slightly different and a little bit stronger. It's got the ginseng in chromium, vitamin C, etc.
Oh, I'm going to look at that.
Also got licorice and cinnamon, so that makes your smoothies taste quite nice, actually.
Nice, licorice and cinnamon. Wow. I mean, I want that just as a kind of I don't buy it all. Leave some for me. Licorice. What's that doing?
Well, it's a little bit low. So this product I'd recommend taking in the morning. I think one capsule in the morning, one with lunch. So if you get cortisol effectively, then the licorice can.
Brilliant. And then just while I've got you here, can I ask you a different question? Which I mean, zinc is, who I've learned over the years, is so essential. Particularly, with COVID and long COVID and all of that. And I've heard that with the liquid zincs that you get, you can do a test to see whether or not. Mm-hmm. Now, which...
You can taste it when you've got enough, I think. But you can't do it with every single type of zinc, so it has to be a specific form.
Yes, so maybe not this one.
Yeah, this is more to supplement when you know you need a little bit extra,
or
if you've already done the test. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the zinc sulfate.
I'm going to look into that, because I think a lot of people are potentially zinc deficient. Take a dose of it And if you can't taste it, think of any other way to describe it.
So it will have a flavour as well.
Yeah, it's such a simple, easy thing to do.
An easy we've talked about. Zinc is an essential, and
Yeah.
as long as you're not using too much zinc, something that you might have in the multi-nutrient or the supplement that you have, the liquid, that's a really good daily dose. So you're not going to overdo the level.
Yeah.
But absolutely, if you have maybe low immunity or cognitive problems, other things like that, then it is useful to check whether your
it's a useful way to check, super easy way to check. And actually, you've had, using zinc, so the chances are that you have low levels, that you're left with low levels, isn't that right? That your body uses up the zinc really quickly to fight all sorts of kinds of infection.
Yeah, it's a really important concept you've raised there, because when our body's under extra stress or pressure, and infection is a big stress.
If you've been poorly, bear in mind that your nutrient levels will be low.
Yeah. And interestingly, because we're talking about stress a lot, zinc is also involved in our nervous function. So it helps with the production of a lot of neurotransmitters that are involved in stress, such as dopamine. If we stress, that's how zinc can be depleted too.
I'm sorry, I see that Facebook keeps cutting out for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. So we seem to be hopefully quite stable on Instagram if you want to hop over and watch us. Otherwise, we'll put the video up on YouTube so everyone can watch it later on. Yeah, that is so interesting. And obviously from me coming with a beauty background as well, zinc is really important for the skin, for healthy, clear skin, for stronger skin, if you're elastin and collagen, all of that, I mean, I guess if there's anything, I don't know anything that zinc doesn't do, frankly. It's one of those wonder minerals that we kind of overlook and take for granted.
Yes, and your hair and your nails as well.
Yeah.
So, but it is involved in 300 processes in the body. It's one of those.
Wow, one of
anything
those.
you talk about, it will be involved.
And actually, I guess, from the way the body works, which is very clever, if you are struggling, post-virally or post some kind of infection, your body's going to use all your zinc for all your vital organs and essential processes first, before then giving it to your skin and your hair and your nails and all the kind of, fluffy bits that aren't life-threatening.
Yeah.
So, if your skin's looking a bit drab and you're a bit low in zinc, it may be because, you are recovering from something and your body is fighting to get enough of that zinc and other nutrients in to replenish, to support your vital organs rather than the fancy bits on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. You might notice your hair falling out more than usual, and maybe your nails breaking a bit more as well. People have skin allergies, they may become worse. Interesting.
And that could be because your nutrients are low, because your body's used them all up with the immune system.
Yeah. And there will be a lot of inflammation, oxidative stress, which we also talked about. It's all linked.
Oh my goodness.
No conflict.
Amazing. It's so interesting, Marta. Honestly, I have a feeling that we could sit here and talk all day, but we better bring it to a close. But thank you for sharing so much information. You can, of course, contact BioCare directly. Marta and her team of nutritional therapists, fully qualified, highly trusted. You can talk to them confidentially, on email. You can pick up the phone, have a chat. You're amazing. I'm so thrilled to have connected, in reality, as it were, having known about your brand and used it for myself and my family for so many years, decades. And love the fact that you give us a discount across everything. It's really, really helpful.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No, and just to remind everybody,
It's been a pleasure.
we chatted about glucocomplex with the chromium and the B vitamins in particular, and the manganese, and then the adrenal complex for the stress, for the cortisol, with the rhodiola, the reishi mushrooms, the ginseng, and so much more. Thank you. Hope to speak to you again.
Thank you very much.
Have a very happy Jubilee bank holiday. Hope you get to do some fun things.
Let's hope for some sunshine.
Yes, yeah, actually it's a little bit coming out now, so it must have heard us. Have a lovely rest of your day. If you want to click off, because otherwise I'll click everybody off. Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh my goodness, so interesting. Yeah, Donna, that was great, wasn't it? Susan, Nikki, absolutely brilliant. Learn so much every time. Love doing these lives with such knowledgeable people. And do you know, another live that I really enjoyed was with the fab female founder of Noggin. Anybody got their Noggin yet? And this, when you look at it, has got so much good stuff in it. This one is called Oomph, and it's got ginseng and rhodiola, I've just noticed. So there you go. You see, once you see these things, it's like once you know, your eyes are open to stuff and you start seeing things, you can't not see it, can you? And it's just being aware of all these different things. I'm sure when you start to look around, you'll see more mention of reishi mushrooms and nootropics and microdosing and all of that. Really fascinating. Many of you, of course, loved the live with Grace, the fab female founder of Studio 10 that I did just yesterday, because of course we're slightly out of sync this week because of the bank holiday. Loving all her things. I had a full face of Studio 10 makeup on. I used nothing else but Studio 10. Didn't use very much, a little bit of her foundation, used the Youth Glow all over, love that, to give me a bit of a glow, and her little neutral eyeshadow palette. I used her mascara, I just used her lip pencil on my lips, love it all, really, really good. And then she's got a little lip gloss as well that you can use over the top. So that's what I was doing, and of course Grace said that she was a huge fan of this, which is the Ingenious Beauty, the collagen. This is the one that I take, okay? These are the capsules that I personally take. They have hyaluronic acid and astaxanthin in, and I am hopefully going to carry on taking them forever. It's really, really good. And Grace said that she used the Liz Loves discount code and has seen such a difference and is going to carry on. So there you go. Ingenious Beauty. That's where these come from. I know lots and lots of you asking about that. Ingenious Beauty, the website is called feelingingenious.com. I know it's a bit confusing. Feelingingenious.com. Liz Loves, all one word, in capitals, gets you 15% off. And these are the ones that I take. Just to say also, if you're looking for something really special and you're looking for a bit of a deal, we all love a bit of a deal, then for the skin, Beauty Pie have just launched something amazing, which is this. Oh my goodness, this is incredible. This is Radiance Concentrate, okay? That's how it comes in the bottle. It's called Youth Bomb, and it contains so many good things. It contains elasticizing complexes, horsetail, willow, licorice extract. There you go, good old licorice popping up again. It has brightening, antioxidants, all sorts of things to support skin elasticity, nutri-peptides. Oh my goodness, so many things. Calming, soothing, brightening, all of that. And this, I'll just show you how it works. Yeah, Beauty Pie, Susan. Yeah, but it's really good value. Okay, so just a couple of little drops like that. And it just, oh, it's a lovely, lovely serum. Really, really nice. And I just mentioned that because the recommended retail price, wait for it, is £185. Quite expensive. But when you subscribe to Beauty Pie, if you're a subscriber, it's £44 because that's the actual cost of what it costs them. And if you sign up using Liz Loves, then just for 48 hours, you get an extra £10 off, okay? So you get to sign up, you get a 60-day free trial. That's amazing. And £10 off your first order. Gosh, what's not to love? Just for the next 48 hours. If you're not a member of Beauty Pie, seriously, after this, go over to their website and have a look, beautypie.com. Amazing things. I use a lot of their things. I use a lot of their makeup. I love their candles. I bought their fragrances. I buy the retinol range from them. This is something that I'm going to be trying. I can't believe the value of that. That is really, really good. So you just need to use Liz Loves Okay, in capitals, all one word. And then for Beauty Pie, you get your £10 off your first order. And then it says here that you've got a 60-day free trial. That's quite an amazing thing, isn't it? Seriously good. Both my girls are now members of Beauty Pie, both Lily and Brella, and they save so much money. It's a really, really good discount system. Mandy, you've just ordered Lily's serum. We'll try both. Absolutely. So Lily's is different, okay? Lily's has got gold flecks in. I mean, Lily, this is really premium, I have to say. So Devon Creator. So this one from Beauty Pie is called Youth Bomb. Okay, particularly a good deal if you're not already a member of Beauty Pie, because you get an extra £10 off. So it's a real steal. Okay, use your Liz Loves to join up to Beauty Pie. Lily's. I'm loving this so much. I used it this morning, I used it last night, particularly if you've got the mask, because the mask makes it 3 times more effective. It's got 18 botanicals in it. It's a very high performance level of hyaluronic acid. It comes from South Korea, and it has little tiny gold flecks. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely good. If you want it on cell return, for cell return, Liz Loves 21. And if you're thinking of treating yourself, on with it, so go and check it out. Yeah, you're going to try it with the mask, Mandy. Amazing. That's what I've been doing. So really highly rate it. Also, just before I go, many of you asking about my jewels today. I am bedecked in my wild rose, and I'm actually, this is the rose gold. So I've got my little necklace, my little bracelet as well. So I'm wearing my rose set. I thought to go with my rose pink cardigan. This is it's an old favourite actually from me. Rosy cheeks, rosy ears, rosy everything. That is just about it. We do have a new subscription gift for the magazine. If you have not yet subscribed, there is never been a better time, because if you subscribe with annual direct debit, bearing in mind that the subscription magazine is around £30, then you get a gift from Olverum worth £58. Yeah, £58. So this is what we talked about before on my live, the Firming Body Moisturiser. I used that this morning as well. And the Body Polish. So these two beautiful full sizes, either a lovely gift for you or a gift maybe to put in your present drawer to give to somebody, worth £58, and that's free with a direct debit annual subscription to the Earle Wellbeing magazine. What is not to love, I ask you? And if you would like to gift the magazine to somebody, you can do weekend or whatever, an annual subscription. So just tell the people at Warner's who do our subscription if you would like the gift sent to you, or if you'd like it to be sent to the person who gets the magazine. So if you want to ring them up, you can. They're based here in the UK. No overseas call centres. You can ring them up, you can talk to lovely people and tell them exactly what you would like to do. If you'd like to keep the gift for yourself or have it sent to wherever the magazine is being sent. So really good time if anybody has not. What is which I love, used it this morning from top to toe, and the body polish from Olverum. Really beautiful products. Let me show you. If I can just open the box here. Here we go. Love them. Look at that. That's the full size of the body moisturiser. So many good smoothing, firming botanicals, and that's worth £58. So it's a steal. It's basically, as they say, a no-brainer. But we don't have a huge number of them. Okay, what's on Sussex? Have you just arrived? My goodness, we're about to finish. I'm so sorry. You're going to have to watch it again on catch up. That day. And I'm very excited about my life. The microbiome of the skin. Yeah, because our skin has its own microbiome, and I'm going to be sharing with you some really interesting. Is the real gift, to be fair. Love this. Let me show you that. It comes in a really cute. Well, I absolutely promise you that. Really good. It's a genuine Liz Loves. So thank you to all our friends at Olverum for that. I'll be back with you Friday, so don't miss that. Perhaps you're out and about, perhaps you're travelling, going somewhere special for the Jubilee weekend. Don't forget that you can download your podcast and listen in the train or in the car or wherever you're heading off to. Hope everybody has a lovely, the rabbits don't eat them all, so hoping to be able to make a nice salad for everybody at the weekend and other things as well. Anyway, thank you very much. Thanks, Grace. You're welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you, Pam. Thanks for all the hearts. Lots of hearts back. I'll see you live next week. Bye-bye.